Hello and welcome. This is Kristen from the Online Selling Show. I am here today. It is Tuesday though, it is not Monday, to start the new vlog. This will be the vlog that should be for March, I think 11th, probably about the 16th-ish, 17th-ish. I really should look at the calendar before I came on, right? I apologize that I have been sick. I think the allergy season is starting here in southern New Jersey. We are starting to get beautiful spring weather. I am here in long sleeves and today is just way too hot. It is almost 60 degrees. I can't believe how beautiful it is. But this is the vlog where I come on in my week to discuss how I'm going to take the eBay channel I started on June 15, 2024 to a six-figure income for myself, to be there when we retire. And I want it to be, I've set a deadline of having that income, not gross sales, income, by January of 2027. I have not said it in a while, but I want to be able to have at least a $20 profit per item after all the expenses are paid. And I would really like this store to be turning itself over in 3 months. What has been going on though is I am still in a position where I have a wholesale business model that is our family sole source of income. That is my priority model, meaning this is a company where I go, I buy from wholesalers, importers, distributors, and they sell to me at a wholesale cost. We mark it up to a retail price and sell online in that fashion. I've been doing that for over 22 years. And this particular show, this particular channel is me going back out to estate sales, yard sales, any form of being able to hit a secondary market to buy and usually selling used goods. There will be some items in here that is coming from that wholesale business model though that I consider to be dead stock. That is stuff where maybe there was like 3 ornaments in a pack, one of them was damaged. Now I can't sell them new on that platform. I will bring them over and sell the 2 remaining items. Or maybe it was a kid's outfit that they returned to me without tags and now I can't sell it new on that platform. I will be selling some of that in this channel. Other things I'll be selling in this channel is I plan to liquidate out quite a bit of stuff at my house. We are planning to move, like I said, in about 2 to 3, closer to 3 years at this point. And I want to get rid of, I want to liquidate, so you will be seeing some of that stuff come in, and then the stuff I'm finding at the estate and yard sales. Today being Tuesday, it is the beginning of the week. I'm going to set up what my expectations of this week are going to be. And truthfully, I did the Whatnot shows. I did 2 of them last week with the same product. I plan in this week to do 4 shows. I am exactly not sure where and how I'm going to schedule them all out. Tomorrow is Wednesday. I have a show for liquidating craft items. I am in a hobby business that I like to, or hobby that I like to do, of making paper like greeting cards, tags for gift packages, and there's just a lot of stuff from that I want to pull out, liquidate. I've talked in prior videos about how you really probably won't see that stuff in an estate sale, and I went to one a few months ago and it made a liar out of me. So if you looked at last week's vlog with my numbers, I try to be as transparent as I can to show that this can be done, that you can grow a 6-figure business and see it reliably coming in. And I'm surprised at what I was able to sell off last week that quickly. I will tell you that I did post another round of paper and I didn't get like any buyers. So I think I'm going to let that settle down for a while. I may put some of that stuff up on eBay this week. I don't know. My focus is getting through bulk because I want to go back to those estate sales by the beginning, that first weekend in April, and I want to get bulk out of my house. So this week I already have one show scheduled for the crafting stuff that I know is around that I just want to get rid of. That show has been scheduled on Whatnot for about a week, maybe 7 or 8 days, around that period of time. Last I saw, I only had 3 people bookmark it, so I don't know how that show is going to go. That's what you'll have to watch the midweek and the week wrap up to see what that happens. I do want to do another one of these Fisher Price Little People's shows that I did the 2 of last week. At this point in time, I've pretty much made back about the money I put out for the goods. So if I can do a lot more bulk, which I do have some really desirable pieces still left, I know that I'll be starting to really pull in profit. The other shows I want to do is I have a bunch of kids stuff. There is some new old stock that I got at a yard sale many years ago, probably like 3 years ago at this point in time. And I have different clothes that I've either, like I said, got back from returns and stuff. So that is going to be basically fed out of the dead stock for my business, but it's going to make money to come back into my household. That's another one. I want to do a show for Christmas that is all of those goods I still have in the death pile that I picked up late in the season last year. That stuff needs to be definitely scheduled. And then I'm missing something. The kids' clothes, the crafting, the Fisher Price Little People, and the baby clothes. Do I have them all? Anyway, there's the four, whatever they may be. So I want to get those done. I just did a part 6 of shipping out the whatnot stuff. I need to get that uploaded. And then I'm working on trying to get listings done for that wholesale business model, because I have some spring stuff coming in. We have some things around the house. I'm sure you're like me, where when you take all that Christmas down, it just feels so bare in the house. We have things that we want to do around the house to change things up, get things more to our taste now, or we're just tired of some things, or maybe things just don't look as nice as they used to and we want to spruce it up in some way. So we are getting the spring fever at this point in time. I will say that my husband will be going to take a trip to see his uncle for a long weekend, and I won't have him around, and my son will be leaving over the weekend to visit a friend of his, and he will be gone for 5 days. So I don't know. My weekend, I may just be doing cards. I haven't quite decided yet, but we'll see how it goes. And the other things this week, like I said, I think are going to be on the plate are more for personal or the other business. The one other thing I can tell you was I always had thought that I was going to pretty much retire stuff out, donate it at the 6-month mark. But I'm surprised at how much stuff is still selling. So I'm thinking the sales are working. With the sale and the coupon combination is still working. If you looked at my numbers at the end of the week, I'm still making a consistent amount of sales. So I'm not going to end that stuff. I don't feel like I really should or need to if the items are still going to sell. The other plan I think I'm going to get on this week is getting that paper that doesn't sell after tomorrow night's show listed. And I also think that I need to list the items that I probably see as more desirable that isn't selling through the whatnot shows out of at least the Fisher Price stuff, get that stuff up on eBay so that I can start getting some consistent sales back over there. I did look, and there is at least one really good sale this weekend. I don't know, with the husband and the son gone, I may really be a little too tempted to go. Just telling you, I may break that promise. We shall see. So I will be back for the midweek wrap up, and we'll see what happens then. I'm here now. It is Thursday, and I'm here for the midweek check-in because I have just lost a whole day this week, as probably some of you have done in your life too, right? Anyway, what this week has been going, we have been doing a lot. We've been doing on our personal side some just cleaning up, reorganizing, putting stuff in the death pile. The more I'm trying to sell them, the death pile is growing because, you get that old stuff out to put back after the holiday decorating gets put away, and it's not my taste anymore. It looks worse than I thought it did, or not as good as I thought it did, whatever. And the death pile is growing with all that kind of stuff that I feel like we could probably make some money out of. I have been so focused on whatnot because it is really a great platform that allows me to just put the goods up, not spend a lot of time trying to get listings, just put it up, get some money for it, and move it out. I did a show last night for my craft goods. Most of the goods that were in that craft show were items that I have been putting through on Facebook groups over and over again. It's just not moving. I did have a few items I put in there that were items I had not listed at any place before, and I may have been able to list them and get a lot more money for it, but I was happy to just start moving this stuff out. I had 17 items sell for a total of $78. Not anything like, wow, great, but I wasn't even in there for 2 hours. By the time I'm done, I'll probably make in $20, $25 an hour for my time on that. Although I did have to stop at the post office and pick up some flat rate boxes because I don't use them in my wholesale business. And I I had to reacquaint myself. Obviously, they don't carry, I don't think, all the boxes, but the most popular boxes are there. And that's what I find to be the most frustrating with Whatnot is I, having been shipping and selling for 22 years, I know the ins and outs on shipping, and I do the best I can to secure the products to get there safely, but I also try to be as cheap on the side of what I have to charge the buyers, and they really tie my hands with the way that they only push USPS is the way you can ship, and they really don't give you an opportunity to change shipping costs and all that kind of stuff. And I understand why, but it's just frustrating, and there's no other way. I'm still working on that, how I'm going to work that out. But I have a Christmas show tonight. I have a baby and kids clothes for tomorrow, and I have another show of the Fisher-Price Little People on Sunday night, I guess it is. So I have definitely hit my goal of trying to get the 3 shows in. I'll have 4 this week, and then I'm doing one every night. I'm going to just keep going through and just listing a show after a show, and I'm not saying I'm going to continue to just keep doing those as my theme. I'm going to have a home one in there because I got to get rid of all this home stuff, and I do have a plan on some themed of shows going forward. The kid and baby clothes I think is definitely going to be there, and definitely like Christmas and Christmas ornaments and stuff. I plan to even get into some of the cheaper stuff where I'm going to be continuously running it for the $1 to $5 range. I think it's going to be a good one because I want to use that as my bill paying money. I think we all in business need what's known as bread and butter, and that is the bills that, if you think about it, like, or the items, if you think about like in a grocery store, it's the milk, the eggs, the bread, all that stuff is in the back of the store for a reason. We all are buying that stuff at the store. That is what is paying their bills. They put it in the back of the store, making you walk past all the expensive stuff where they really make their profit at. And for me, I want the Christmas and the kid and baby to be those items that I may be not making huge profit on, but making it up in quantity that I sell. There are items I know that I can readily buy cheaply and plentiful. Speaking of which, I did go today off of Facebook Marketplace. I found a large bag of clothes for $10 for a boy from up to like 12 month in size, newborn to 12 month. I want to have those for my kid and baby show because I don't have small sizes and I don't have anything really cheap for that show. So I feel this is going to be something that's going to be good to give me that feel and that mix for where I need to be in my sourcing coming up, because I'm telling you, in less than a month I want to be out sourcing again. So we handled the I bought those today. My husband is supposed to be finishing off a request I made we went down, and the one half of the basement is where my original shelving and all used to be for the wholesale business before we had the building, the whole pole barn built for to be the warehouse. And I'm using that side now for, I've had the shelving put up for my storage of my seasonal goods that I'm using personally for decoration, but I'm going to be using half of that as a recording studio to have these shows. And I also want to use it as a place to use for videos for the wholesale business, to sell goods of just general things that I'm bringing in every season. So that is something we got done this week. Yay us. I'm going to do a video of that. I will add in here, and I also will update you and show you how much has sold out of the section where my inventory has been stored. I can't believe how much has gone. There is still been some decent sales. I know I've sold at least 2 things with no sale going on right now. That has been surprising. I took offers, but there wasn't a coupon going or a sale. So I'm going to continue keeping that stuff in there. I thought I was going to start ending and donating or putting it into a Whatnot show, but like I said, if it's going to keep moving, I'll leave it in there. The one thing though I'm finding is the clothing that I got from the very, very beginning has not been really moving at all. I did have 1 or 2 items sell maybe in the past week and a half, but for the amount of quantity of the listings, like if I have 200, they may be like 60 of the items. There's not, I would think more of that should be selling percentage wise, and it's just not. So those may be items I pull in at some point and just do a show to get rid of. But that's what I have so far. The husband leaves in about 12 hours. He's going to be leaving at 3 a.m. on Friday to go see his uncle for the weekend. And then my son will be leaving Saturday in the afternoon to go visit his friend during spring break. And prior to that, I think we're going to hit an estate sale. My son wants to go and learn this reselling. This is going to be his summer job, he says. I do believe it. He's a very disciplined, always has his to-do list going kind of kid. And I'm a firm believer in this business. I have raised him in this business. I started it when I was pregnant with him and put out on a preterm labor rest type of thing. I've talked about that before. And I definitely believe it's a skill set you can use at any point, any time in your life. As Zig Ziglar, I love Zig Ziglar. If you don't know who he is, I highly recommend you check him out. Phenomenal speaker. I got to see him prior to his passing away live on stage, and it was phenomenal. He owned that stage. But he says we're all salesmen in life, and he is right. If you don't think you are, rethink it, because his thing is that you always have, even if you have a job, you're still having to sell yourself to your boss every day for them to justify keeping you on for the wages they pay you, or looking for a promotion, looking for another job that you're applying for, looking for a raise. You always have to sell yourself and your skill sets. So we all are a salesperson in some form or another. And I definitely feel for him, it would be a great life experience to go through this. I have the full warehouse, I have the full shipping, so he can just plug right in. I told him he can do whatever it is of interest to him. I am not looking that he has to learn what I'm doing. And I have 2 really good sales this week that I'm kind of excited to want to go to. I'm going to let him pick because, of course, they're both in opposite directions. So there should be a shopping video coming out of this week as well. We shall see. Once I tell him the time that we have to get up, that may change everything like it did in the past. We will see. So I will be back with an update at the end of the week. So here's where we're at. It is March 13th, I believe. And this is what I have left for inventory. I don't know if you noticed, but I have almost huge big gaps in here now. That is what I have left for those mice and cat figures from the huge, great sale I've made on that. But there is big sections in here, big sections. This is where I had those baskets. The only thing I have in here that I'd love to get rid of that's big is that toy. There's big gaps. These are the clothes I bought before. This bin was packed, and as you can see, that thing is pretty well empty. This bin had a lot of these in it. That is what I have left. I have 3 of those left from the Jingle Pals or something. I must have had 20 some of those. The bottom one has the glasses I bought at the One Estate sale. That has been pretty well emptied out. I would like to get rid of more of them. I had those plus another whole thing. So probably sold about half of what I had for those. And this whole row has been cleared out. Paper I'm moving and trying to get on, and here is my death pile. This needs to get listed. I'm going to try and do a show on those. This is another amount that needs to get listed. I'd like to do those maybe on eBay. Some of this is store stock or home stuff in here. This is another show that I wanted to do that I had not shown. And then this is just stuff for my craft room. This is stuff from upstairs, and then this is another estate sale here. This is stuff I just pulled out. I'm putting in tonight's show, and stuff I've been pulling out. So it is a lot, but I think once I start picking through, it's going to go pretty fast, I'm hoping. So this is what we have for the death pile to get through. And let's go in and I'll show you the recording studio I put together for Whatnot. Section where I used to have, prior to this, I used to have my shelving down here for my other business. This is all of my Christmas that I have. I'm putting the lights so I can have them. We do have a walkout back there. I've used these for my business in the past. I have this set up for a Christmas show tonight. I do have where I can store in here stuff from other shows, like the craft show stuff is in there. Put it up and out of the way. This is how I'm staging stuff right now. I do hope to, I want to have, if I have to weigh anything, I wanted to have that close by. I have some flat rate boxes close by, computer if I need it. This will be permanently staged because I will be having Christmas stuff all the time. I want to be able to have trees for display purposes. The trees will not be for sale, nor will the tables or the tablecloths on those two. If they want the table runner or the tree skirt, they can sell. I will sell that. There are some more ornaments that are back up to ones on the tree down here. My husband did put this bar here for where I plan to hang the kids' clothes to do a kids' show. These are the hangers. I have probably twice as many, if not even double more than what's in hanging in a box over down there that I picked up from the Facebook Marketplace. So this will give me an option to have a kids' show here, allows me to stage stuff out here. I can sit and have some stuff staged here and also work during the show. The trees are going to be there for Christmas. There is a mantle in here that will allow me to stage stuff as well. In here, some of the craft stuff that I still need to use or move out of. This is my personal, so I will have this also for staging. So hope this gives you an idea of what I'm doing. It doesn't have to be super, super fancy. I would like at some point to put a pegboard here to cover up all the piping in the back, and then also give me areas I can hang stuff temporarily during the show for, again, additional display purposes. So that is both areas. I am here for the end of the week wrap up, and it is a beautiful sunny day here in southern New Jersey. I was trying to do this with the windows down, but just too many loud noises and stuff around me. But it is the middle of March and 64 degrees. Beautiful. Best way for me to go through this is let's just go through this in a timeline, because there has been a lot that happened. A lot that necessarily wasn't what I expected or planned for, but oh well. I think it's been a great week. Thursday, I believe I had caught you up with the Whatnot show I did for the craft stuff. Got some sales. Obviously would have liked to have more, both in quantity and dollars, but it was good. Got that through. I know Whatnot is going to be one of them platforms that is just about consistency and building followers, and I'm going to just keep going through that pace. We got through setting up the basement to have a place for me to do my videos from. That went great. And then I was doing a Christmas show Thursday night, and the items I got out just happened to be all the goods. I think it was all of them. I'm not exactly sure that it was all, but we'll go through. It was quite a bit of the stuff I had at that house. That was the big, beautiful Victorian on those beautiful grounds with the bookstore in the backyard. Try and link that video down below. And I also had goods coming out that was from this second estate sale that happened that weekend, where I went and I only bought like 6 items. It was, I think, I'll put that down below. I think that's the other one I termed it, Not Everybody Is Your Friend. I think it's the part 2. And I did get a video done, which was good. The sale that night, though, was dismal. I sold 3 $1 items to the same person, and honestly, they were the items I would have liked to have kept the most out of everything, just saying. So that sale was kind of, Then Friday morning, my husband got up. He left at like 3 a.m. or something to go for his trip down to see his uncle. And my son was wanted to go to an estate sale. Well, there was nothing I was doing to get that child out of bed. And I was up and frustrated at this point from trying to get him up. And I said, well, I am just going to go. And I did. And I'm happy I went, not because I bought anything. It was more for me just to get the video, but it made me realize that it is like anything else that you do where you need that skill set and you need to keep practicing them. And I realized that I had let a lot of things slide because I'm not in practice. So this makes me realize that I have got to get back into my headspace, the right headspace, and get back in this game before I really am ready to start loading up on the inventory again, that I need to get back into knowing exactly what my steps are and my plan of attack. So that made me realize that. I came home. I did get about a dozen things listed. I took somebody's advice by using the natural light and going outside and taking pictures, and what a difference that made. Highly recommend that for you. Wow, what a difference. So I did get about a dozen listings up. I then get the day shipping out with my son, which was great. And then I kind of hit a wall. I don't know if it's vacation envy for the two of them having, time away and everything, or I know I'm in overwhelm mode right now between all the stuff I have on my plate for the personal lives and the two businesses of this and our wholesale business. I don't know. I know I had a vacation not that long ago, but I just realized that I don't give myself regular time to be off and not checking emails or trying to get stuff done for the business. I am just been running, and I hit a wall. And I had a scheduled Christmas show for Friday night, planned on whatnot. I had Saturday, I had to take him to the airport, and then I had card making, and I was going to do my friend came over, we did cards, and I was going to do a baby show that night. And I said, I want the weekend off. So I went in and I rescheduled the Christmas and the baby show that was going to happen and put that off till next week and said, I'm just going to take some time for myself. So lo and behold, yesterday, my son's flight gets delayed. Kind of threw a little bit of a loop in the card making I was doing with a friend. But we got through all of that. I enjoyed some time to myself. I'm now here making this video on Sunday. And I think I'm going to take the scheduled show for tonight of the Vintage Choice. I think I'm rescheduling that too, because I really do think I need to give myself my weekends the same as when I had a 9-to-5 job, and give myself defined time where I don't feel guilty for not having to keep checking for things business related. And I think I'm going to have to just be okay with that. And I think I will be. Another thing that I should mention in here is that as of yesterday afternoon, I was noticing that I was running the coupon with it being stacked on a sale that I was doing. I've been doing this for a couple of weeks on eBay. And in the past, I had planned to just donate my goods by now, end this dead stock, and start fresh with the new goods I was listing. And I had been getting so many consistent sales that I kind of felt that as long as the goods were selling, I would continue with this plan of running these sales and these coupons. Well, I started running them again, and I wasn't getting anything as of yesterday. And I thought, this is unusual. I went in, I looked at the listings, and I found that there was quite a few listings that did not get into the pool of ones approved for the discount or the coupon. I had to edit that and add them in. I felt this would be really turning that fountain on again. And I'll be honest, I've made one sale so far. I'm not throwing in the towel on this quite yet, but it does give me something to look and review. I don't know if it's necessarily this beautiful weather that everybody's experiencing, that maybe that's what's going on, but I do realize that I'm going to have to just keep an eye on that. Well, that's what's happened so far this week. Let's get into the numbers and we'll see where we are. Here to go through the sales now for March 10th through March 16th. During this time period, we had gross sales of $208 with net sales of $122. You will see now that Whatnot is starting to show off, and it is kind of throwing some of these numbers off, but we'll go through that and I'll tell you why I feel that it may be a little bit better for me to remove the business stuff out of here, but we'll see. Gross sales during this time period were $20.81 per sale, with an average net cost per sale of $12.17. The net profit margin is 58%, with an average net profit margin of 53% per sale. Quite a bit of this is showing up as personal. You'll see why in a minute, why that is. The listing sources, I'm not really kind of going through because I'm not really listing a whole lot. Whatnot is starting to show up as being a very competitive marketplace for me. You'll start seeing whether that's happening. Net money's being spent on new inventory is $0, although I do have some that do need to get recorded because I have bought some things off of Facebook Marketplace, but I have not gotten that in there. But right now they're saying $0. Cost of goods during this time period were $18.99, with the marketplace fees being $33.79. and shipping labels being $33.65. We had 17 new listings go up, which is truthfully just the listings of what I put it into Whatnot, with 10 sales occurring. Most of them you can see happening on the weekend. And this time here, this stuff down here is again not really accurate because of how I'm recording things for the Whatnot shows. Stuff that's going into the Whatnot shows are coming out of 4 basic buckets for me. There is the first one, which is my personal stuff, which is the things I'm just looking to clearance out of the house. The second bucket is going to be the items that I am purchasing from estate sales or yard sales that will be specific to coming in for either eBay or the marketplace. The third bucket coming in is going to be the items that have either come back from a return and tags are off, or the buyer damaged it in some way and now I cannot sell it in my other business. So instead of just donating those goods, I am donating them to this business here and trying to get some money back out of that. The fourth bucket coming in is me trying to clearance out old stale stock from the wholesale business and moving it into this business. And you'll see that as the instructions from my CPA are, is that the cost of goods is moving in to this marketplace, and it is going to start throwing some of these numbers kind of off. But let's get into the sales and you'll see a little bit more of what I'm talking about. So the number 10 spot is the one item I sold at this Christmas show that I did. This particular one I have not attributed cost of goods into. I really do need to do some breakdowns in this particular estate sale purchase I made, and that is one item that may fluctuate. But considering the gross sale was only $3, I'm not really going to be thinking it's going to affect too much with what I'm showing you today. The number 9 spot is an order from my one craft show I did on Whatnot. These are personal items that I am looking to liquidate. If you can see in here that the total cost was $5. I have no cost of goods attached to this as it was personal items, and there was $1.45 paid between commissions and bank transaction fees of $1.45 they came out. And then I do have to pay a commission on what they collected from the buyer to cover shipping costs. Even though that shipping is paid for by the buyer and it is flowed through directly to Whatnot, I still pay a 2.9% commission on it. So I have to pay $27 that I put in there that is attributed to the cost of goods, or cost to ship the item. And that left me with $3.28 from the goods that were sold to this particular buyer. I am putting them in as their collective amount for the sale. So the number 8 spot is this item that was thrown in with some other items I purchased at, I believe it was a yard sale. I just made the decision to list it. I attributed $1 to it, some promotional item for Aflac. Honestly, it took 8 months to sell, but realistically, between coupons and the estate sale, or a coupon and the sale I was running, I still was able to get $4.20 for it with a $5 fixed shipping cost that I had attributed. This is how you're going to see eBay transactions recorded in Flipwise. If you look over here on the left-hand column, some of the breakdown. This is where it's showing you that I attributed the $1 to it. This was purchased on July 8th. It was put in there at the time that I listed it. The 30-cent fixed value fee, final value fee on eBay is that transaction fee where I tell you that it is from them taking the money out of the buyer's account and putting it in yours. They charged a flat fee of 30 cents. They do have a final value fee, which would basically be considered the commission, but does fluctuate based on what type of store you have with eBay, or if you have a store category you're in. So I tell you to just calculate that to be on average of about $1.21 is what I'm having here. It is usually 15% of the total value they took in, which would be the $9.20 in my case up here. The net return after they took out all of these fees was $1.85, but you have to keep in mind that I'm still getting my $1 back for this item, and then they give me, I get an additional $1.85. This leaves me with a return, an ROI of 185% or a net profit margin of 20%. This is, basically where my $1 brought me back almost $2. It took me 8 months to wait. Nothing exciting to jump up and down about, but it's better than just throwing the item out. The number 7 spot is another purchase that somebody made during that same craft show that I did on Whatnot. They spent $10. After the fees and everything were taken out, I had $7.14 I can expect to get paid on that. Again, this was my first show for them, and I'm just starting my appearance over there, and it'll grow. I've seen it already growing now. It doesn't look exciting yet, but the numbers are starting to show every show that they're getting better. This item is items I dug out of an estate sale. They were in a garage, in a tub, and they kind of had the granny core thing going on. They were very crisp looking, didn't look like they were ever used. I attributed $1 to it. I did have to sit on these for 7 months to sell. They also sold on one of those combination coupon weekend sales, and I got $8.40 for it, with $6.90 for shipping. After everything was said and done, my dollar did come back with $7.09 as a net return on that. Not bad for something that you could just really sit on. It was pretty easy to store. The paper I don't really go through because, again, that's more of a hobby thing. This will be an item I will bring up. This was a personal item as well, but I did get this at a time I was in Disney World's shops down there. It did have a little bit more different things going on. This was a very textured thing in the yellow of the head here. And I had to take it again with the coupon and the sale and all that to really get it sold. But I did get back $11.33 just to get something out of my cupboard. Phenomenal. The number 3 spot is this Izod sweater. I got this at a Goodwill. I was really kind of wondering if I was ever going to get it sold. I was really hoping I wasn't going to be having to donate this back. It was an Izod men's sweater. It has a quarter zip pullover with a Nordic design on the front. I did pay $8.99 at the Goodwill for it, so I did pay up for it. But after everything was said and done, I did get back $9.15. I think my biggest problem was that I probably rounded up on the shipping, and the shipping didn't come out looking rather high. Charged $13.10 for it when I could really ship it for $8.58. I think that may have been able to sell much faster had I had kept that shipping cost lower. The number 2 spot are these vintage clip-on Christmas ornaments. I did sell these for an offer of $25, but I will tell you, I already know they're coming back. The one wing was broken off when it got there, and apparently I listed them as Snow Babies, which is a Department 56 product, and these have stickers on them from Russ. The buyer has already opened up the return, and I was going to see a profit of $14.06 for my $8 purchase, but now we're looking at, I'm probably going to be lucky if I can break even. I'm going to probably put these in a Whatnot show and just try to clearance them out. I don't really know if Russ was maybe the original and then it switched over to Department 56. I don't know. They sure look like Snow Babies to me. That's all I'm going to say. The number 1 spot is my one purchased from another purchase in that craft show. Somebody spent $63. After all the commissions were paid out and fees, it was $54.06. Again, this was a combination. I really can't recall how many items were sold in that, but you'll see where Whatnot is starting to come in now and really give me some return back. And again, if you look, I'm doing this 2 weeks later. You'll see if you look at the next weeks where it's starting to add up. Hope you are enjoying this series. I hope it is giving you some insight. I hope that you don't mind that I'm including the Whatnot in there. Please leave any comments and questions below. I would appreciate a thumbs up if you're getting anything good out of this. And I'll catch you in the next one.